Bang, 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 bang.
Hey everybody, welcome to Give Me a Minute with Miah and Samal. I'm Miah.
And I'm Samal.
And this is our first episode. Hey friend, how
What's
you feeling?
going on, friend? This is our absolute pilot. You know,
The big one.
we have really come very far to get to here.
Yeah.
But also in a short period of time, we
Yeah.
have pulled this together and manifested this.
Yes.
And we are giving ourselves a minute.
And we will. No, but I'm super, super excited for this. Thank you for just believing in this.
Yes.
Give Me a Minute is a lifestyle brand, and the goal and mission for me is to always encourage people to take care of themselves before they show up anywhere else. And so this is just an extension of that. I think sometimes we need to step away from what's going on in the day-to-day and just take a
Always.
lunch break, you know? So
Yeah.
this is the lunch break channel. This
Right?
is a means to just kind of wind down, to entertain, to enlighten and encourage the people.
You
So
know what I'm saying?
I'm
Pull your
looking-
wig back.
Okay, and just put a fan up.
Put
you know
a
what I'm
fan
saying?
up.
Just cool off a little bit. But
Yeah.
I think we should tell the people like where we met or just how we met.
How
I
it
think,
came about.
Yeah, I think you should break it down. Tell the people.
Well, so Miah had just graduated from college, right?
Did
Where'd you graduate
and was
from?
depressed. the Hampton University. Okay.
She gotta let 'em know.
Illustrious.
You know what I'm saying? HBCU. Shout out to the HBCUs.
All that.
And I was looking for someone to kind of replace me. I was leaving the Dr. Phil show.
Yep.
I worked on integrations, and I felt like our boss is like, she's a really amazing person. We love her.
The gym.
And I wanted to gift her with something and not just leave her like high and dry, for lack of better words, is what I kind
Yeah.
of felt like, you know, even though she knew I was going to be leaving, but she was devastated. And then Miah came along. We interviewed a lot of people. Let me tell you something. We interviewed a lot of people. And then when I got to Miah, and one of the things that I literally was adamant about, and I asked her, I said, girl, you cannot quit. Are you going to quit this job?
And I was like, absolutely not, baby. I've been depressed for a year. I need something to do. I need a job.
You know what I'm saying? So long story short, you know, being from Atlanta, Miah was committed. She said that she was going to do it. And ever
Yeah.
since then, my friend, we never even worked together.
Which
That's
is
what people
crazy.
don't
I
know.
mean, you trained me up in the way that I should go, but you know, I made sure that I was cool and ready for the job. But I'm just grateful that we've maintained this relationship because it
did.
feels so genuine. You've always just been a light and a guide in my life, and so I'm just eternally grateful for you. So I'm not gonna cry
Thank you,
today,
friend.
but thank you for just being who you are. You are just incredible. You lift everybody up. But thank you for just specifically believing in this space and just always being just beautiful.
Yeah, for me, you know, like, I mean, first of all, the shirts are amazing. Give me a minute.
Period.
You know,
Very comfortable.
Merch, get a piece.
On Shopify. Thank
You
you.
see what I'm saying? I believed in the brand. I like the clothes. They are some of the most comfortable t-shirts. And, you know, when I first saw you had it going on YouTube, I mean, on Instagram and everything. But
Yeah.
and we were talking, and I had my own ideas. And I'm just like, man, I believe in this so much that we should just collaborate together and give
Yeah.
ourselves a minute. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? To talk to the people, you know, we talk a lot. Me and Mike keep it real.
And we do 1,000%. Okay, them voice messages.
We keep it real. We love to leave memo messages and everything.
Yes.
So how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Oh, that's a great question. I would have to say optimistic, kind, and
I'm glad you
would
didn't
think
say
I
nice.
got-
You said kind.
no,
because
because you know there's a difference.
It is
Like
a
there's
difference.
a balance. You
Yes,
know what I
it
mean?
is.
So I do my best to be kind, and then when I don't want to be kind, I just remove myself from the room. And then the last word, I think I'm pretty funny. I like to have a good time. I like to laugh. I would say comedic. Like I like to have a good time and keep the room light. You know?
You're optimistic, you're
Yes.
kind, and you're comedic.
Yes.
I would agree
What
with
would you
that.
say? Okay, you agree?
Yeah, I definitely would.
I
agree
like
with
it.
that. Yeah,
You
I'm
would
glad
tell me
you
if
didn't
you
say
went-
nice though, because that nice word is a Beyonce.
It don't do.
People be around here thinking that they nice, and I'm like,
You're not.
I don't think you really know what that word means. Like, you're not a nice person. You really aren't. You know,
kind.
you do nice things maybe, but being a nice
Yes.
person is not who you are.
I agree.
I would agree too. I do not think I'm a nice person.
You
I
don't
think I'm an amazing
so?
person though.
I agree.
You don't have to be nice to be amazing.
Period.
But I would say that I am. I'm comedic. I'm a funny person.
1,000%.
Yeah, I would not deny that.
I think that was probably the first. Even in the interview, you was just like, "Girl, look." Is you gonna leave for that?
I was born with a gift to keep it real.
Yeah.
And it comes out funny sometimes.
Yeah.
And I would say I'm adventurous, but it's a loaded word because, like, you know,
Why do
it's
you
a
think
lot
it's
involved in
loaded?
that. Because, I mean, I'm adventurous in a lot of ways.
Okay, but
know
are
what
there
I'm saying?
limitations? Like,
It ain't, no.
okay, good.
No, that's what I'm saying. Right. So, cheers to
I was about
adventure.
to say I'll drink to that.
To being adventurous. You know what I'm saying? Like, cheers to being adventurous.
I love it.
And the other word I would say is, what am I? I'm a very passionate person.
You are.
Like, I really am. I am a very passionate person. I think Scorpios are very passionate people.
Yes.
You know, we are low-key sensitive people. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't like for people to know that or whatever.
Yeah.
Let y'all in on a little Scorpio vibe, you know. But
Get into it,
but
the
I
horoscope.
am, yeah. I love the people that I love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do, and I'm grateful to be one of them. But friend, what was like the first thing? Was there anything that was just like first thought of mine today or this morning? Like, was there anything that you were just like, okay, this is heavy on me? Speaking of being sensitive and into the feels and
Yeah.
all the things.
Yeah, I've been going through it lately. The first thing honestly, I wake up in meditation
Good.
because I've been having a hard time I'm fully transparent. Like, creatively, I've been feeling a little bit stifled, wanting my dreams to happen, for things to manifest a little bit faster than maybe God is saying.
Oh my God.
You know, and so you gotta kind of go through the process and talk to yourself about these things. And I've been really kind of pulling myself out of that. But so the first thing that comes to my mind, literally before I even hit the floor, is gratitude. I'm just
Yeah.
thankful, and I just, you know, pray and just thank him for the day and for what's coming, and try to be
1000%.
present, to like live in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah. And for
That's good.
today, because you know what I'm saying, like, we literally are shooting our very first pilot, and I mean, the manifestation of that is a dream come true.
It's really crazy. And you almost like, because even leading up to this, I was just like, oh man, this is happening so fast. But
Yeah.
I'm like, we've been working on ourselves, our crafts,
We
you know,
have
for a
been.
minute. So it's like when these opportunities come, it's just a matter of preparing for that or just getting ready for
Yeah.
what's to come, you know? So
And it's crazy because we've been talking about this separately and brought it
Yeah,
together
in
and been
different
motivating
ways.
each other separately.
Yes.
Yeah. And been like, friend, because you be on me. You be like, okay, friend, like, you said you was going to shoot something now. You ain't shot nothing.
And what's going on?
Let's meet up, you know, at the
Yeah.
coffee house.
Yeah.
What was the first thing that you thought about this morning?
Ooh, I would honestly just have to say the same thing. Like, I think this has been such a tough time since it's a quiet period for our industry. So, you know, just taking a second, taking a minute to just take a breath and not feel like I have to rush, but just even not feeling like I don't know, like I'm not productive because things are quiet, or that, you know, I'm less than, or just all the things, you know. It's just like a vulnerable moment for me right now. But I think it does require me to lift my own self up. So I do. I go to God, and me and God, we be chatting. So we.
When the last time you had a good cry, friend?
2 days ago. Right. Maybe actually
Really?
last night, yesterday. I
do
cried.
not cry that easily.
You know?
I swear I believe my tear ducts might be backed up or something.
Sometimes
I have like a block. I'm
said
so
the tear
serious.
ducts.
Like,
No, I there will be periods where I don't, like for a long time, and then something will trigger it, or somebody might say something or pour something into me that I needed to hear, and then it's ugly. Yeah. It might be an ugly cry that I just
Yeah.
needed to get out. Last night it was not an ugly cry. I think it was a cute cry. It was just a couple that came down, but it was still, I needed to get it out.
I
needed to
literally think
unwind.
crying is a beautiful thing when it's not obsessive, because some people can cry too much.
And then, like, when people put the camera up and be crying on social media, I can't. It's a lot for me. I just
To record
I
yourself
get
crying
it.
is a little narcissistic, ain't it? I know I'm crying so
You
emotional
know what?
right
Don't
now.
do that. Like,
That I had to tell y'all.
certain people I be feeling though. Like when Tab, like I think Tab got on and she was crying. There are moments where I'm just like, oh, when certain people are crying over certain things, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I felt that for real. But
Speaking of tears,
yes.
the Emmy nominations came out.
Oh my God.
I mean, people crying on both ends. You know, some people crying because they're excited about the nominations, and then some people crying because they didn't get nominated.
Exactly, yeah. But I mean, I am happy, and I think there even was the youngest nominated person. He was like 10 years old.
The little kid
Yeah.
from oh my gosh,
What is the name?
Is it like
For the-
When They See Us or something
It's
like that?
not When They See
The
Us,
wrong
but
movie,
I think
okay.
is it the last
The
of
Last
our
of
lives?
Us, something like that.
Something like that.
We gonna figure it out.
Our producer's
y'all.
we gonna edit that in post.
But it is for real.
Yeah.
It was like Marseille, now this kid.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
It's really, really amazing. Like, I think, and even for it to be the 75 years of the Emmys, that's a long time, but I'm just happy to see a lot of us getting credit. I know that, it's still firsts for a lot of things.
It's still first. Why are we still having so many firsts? In 75 years, it is, come on, y'all. Let's stop.
Yeah, it's time.
Like, we should be right now we should at least have had the 50th.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you 1,000%. Yeah.
Come on, y'all.
But it's all good.
But so some of the people that got nominated,
it was like Taraji, Mahershala, Steve Harvey,
Kiki.
All the people.
This is the year to Kiki for me.
Listen, Kiki is in her bag, and I'm here for it. I'm here for every
Kiki,
step,
we love you. You
every
are
time.
everything to us. You got to come on the show.
Please, come on, Kiki.
Don't play. We're going to come on yours. You're going to come on out.
Yeah, let's do it. Kiki TV. We coming.
TV. Yes.
Welcome us. Yes, I love it. I love it. No, but I'm super excited for everybody that's been nominated. And even just, I know certain people, for certain shows, but even just to see like the hair and makeup department, just like people like on P Valley. Shout out to the people. Shout out to the family.
Shout out to the people. Miah, shout out to her people.
Shout out to the shout out.
Miah got a lot of jobs, y'all.
Listen, gotta stay employed. But we working on it.
Speaking of fashion, the red carpet for the Emmys is going to be coming up, and a lot of people were talking about like Kiki's outfit when she went to the Usher concert.
I disagree with everybody that said it was a problem. I don't think there was anything wrong with what she had on. What are your thoughts?
I think that there is a line between women wearing too much in fashion. Depends on where you're going, but I feel like her outfit was absolutely appropriate to see Usher.
It was tasteful.
Maybe she was going to see Usher up in Vegas. What else would you wear?
Like, that's the 25th anniversary. That's our childhood. Like, that's just a moment. And it wasn't like she was throwing it. Like, she wasn't throwing nothing bad. It was very tasteful.
I mean, she naturally threw it. It moved.
I mean, listen.
We saw it move, Kiki. That thing moved. It moved. Speaking of movement,
you can't help natural movement.
So that guy, Kevin Samuels, he died. And
yes, he did. Rest his soul. Oh, Lord, my dad loved him. So I'm like, what?
I could not get into this, man. He was outrageous
get it at all.
They got a female version. YouTuber. What
I
is
heard
this?
about
She
it.
was 7?
Yes.
Ooh, her advice keeps the internet talking. They say men like toxic women and will eventually get bored with nice women. That's what she believed? Or make a man act right by acting wrong. Make a man act right by acting wrong.
Disagree. Let's move on to the next topic.
I will say this, that I do believe that people are too invested in toxicity and are trying to convince people that it is the opposite.
Okay.
Like they want.
But is she married? Like, is she in a successful relationship?
She probably just like Kevin.
Child.
Ain't had not nobody. Okay, not even nobody. Nobody.
But I'm a man my business.
Let's talk about affirmative action. You went to an HBCU. I went to a PWI.
I did. That's all right. You from Florida. We from the South. So you be going to HBCU. You be going with the F. Okay.
From the bottom.
The dirty. But yeah, I just think it's ridiculous. Like, I think that, things like this should, as we've discussed, should encourage people to go to historically Black colleges and universities.
Please, seriously.
Because
I should have went to one, honestly.
It is one of the best experiences. I felt so grounded. And even though, you get out to the world and things get real, but you have this sense of community or just a sense of a whole nother network that might be dispersed into these areas that are, not full of us.
Yeah.
So I think that just this whole, I don't know. It's almost just
it's a way to keep us down. Again.
It is, but and there's so many other things just happening in the world that are constantly proving that. I'm like, y'all don't want us here.
Let me tell y'all something. When they say get on a boat and leave, I will fly out.
I was about to say I'm flying, but I ain't.
Get back on no boat.
No, please get me out of here, please. At all.
Get your mom on the boat.
Okay.
So, as people that work in TV production, now we are producers, and we worked in talk a lot. You know,
Yes.
Miah done did a lot more than I have.
Yeah, I
but
was about to say, even
we've done a lot in talk.
production and casting. Yeah, like this is such a tough time. Like I mean, what's happening is absolutely ridiculous. And even just the Deadline article that I read the other day of, you know, just these executives saying that they're basically waiting to push people out of their homes until they're
evil.
Desperate for work is it's pure evil, truly. Like it's depressing.
It shows us how dark things can be.
Yeah.
But it tells us that we need to do our own thing.
Which is why we're here.
We're giving y'all a minute.
And period.
Everybody should literally take this time to be more creative, I believe.
I do
and
agree
invest
too.
in themselves, collaborate. That's what we did. We literally pulled our friends together. Y'all, our friends are
Shout
here
out
with
to the
us.
producers.
You know what I'm saying? We got a whole
cut
team that, you know, we manifested and came together, some beautiful people behind us. And I think that if people take this time to invest in themselves, but it's also time for us to celebrate ourselves a lot more
1000%.
instead of being so concerned about. Stephanie Mills gave me this quote. She said that because she has a son and he has Down syndrome.
Okay.
She taught her son and continues to teach him to go where he's celebrated and not tolerated.
Right. Yeah, that's beautiful.
We have to take that mindset on.
1000%. And I think just perspective alone is just something that we should grab and grab a hold of and run with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, this moment, I think is this quiet period is giving everybody a second to just reevaluate and recharge. And I think everybody should be working on their own projects or just making their own dreams come true. Like I know it's a tough period and all we want to do is create, but it's like in this quiet time, it is time to come together and meet up with community, find your people, you know, and make it happen.
Shout out to the actors for collaborating with the writers.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And standing with them. That is huge.
Yes.
This is historical.
And I don't think it's something that's happened since the 80s or like I think for the actors and writers to so it's way long overdue, but I'm happy it's happening now. I'm happy that it's something that we will witness, and I'm just looking forward to just seeing the other side of this. Like I know that this is a tough period for a lot of people, but
and I always feel like, I mean, honestly, my prayer is that, I mean, that people get what they deserve, but also that it opens the doors for people of color, especially Black people, because I feel like we still, even in these fights and these marches, we still are not getting what we should be getting. So it would be great and a blessing that if with everything that happens, that it's a win for us all, not just for some.
Absolutely.
You know, because that's what happens a lot of times is that, you know, like it's a win, but then we still end up losing.
Yeah, we just still feel behind. Like it's like we take a couple steps ahead, but it's like it feels like no movement. But we are moving. We're gonna speak positively, as you just said. We will be celebrated. We will celebrate ourselves. We will move in a way that is y'all. Yes, and we support you 1000%. So writers, actors, we stand with you through it all.
Through it all.
Yeah. I feel like are we ready for our special guest?
Y'all don't even understand. Like, we doing it big.
Yeah. We got some heavy hitters coming to the studio today.
Icons coming through.
I'm trying to get some wisdom today. I need all the feels.
We have fashion designers BruceGlen here with us today. So this is absolutely amazing that we would even have these guys grace us with their presence. They're extremely busy.
All the time.
They're working on some new things. We're going to catch up with them and see what's going on with them.
I'm trying to get some tea. I'm like, can we get some exclusive news today?
And some merch. You know what I'm saying? Get us a little outfit.
Yes.
You could dress us for one of these red
can
carpets.
They style us? Yeah, they're going to style. Can y'all style us right now? I'm ready. I'm excited. This episode is brought to you by Give Me a Minute, the lifestyle brand, another safe space reminding you to take care of you. For more community updates or to check out our lifestyle store, follow us on Instagram at Give Me a Minute Lifestyle. We appreciate you for being here. Stay tuned for more. Oh, don't forget, click, follow, or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube channel to ensure you never miss an episode. See you soon.
Welcome.
We are here in studio with I was gonna use the illustrious, but I'm gonna just use it again. The greatest to ever do it.
Literally. BruceGlen.
Yes.
Welcome, guys.
y'all.
Thank you for such a wonderful introduction.
Absolutely.
As our absolute first guest.
Yes,
That's
we're so
crazy.
grateful to
I don't
have
know why
you.
y'all chose us for your first guest.
I'm talking about hand
please.
selected.
That's crazy.
Handpicked.
We appreciate your time. We know you're busy
appreciate
people.
being here. We really do.
Well, we saw y'all on that show. What's that lady name?
I don't know.
The Jennifer Hudson show.
The
Yes,
Jennifer Hudson
yes,
show.
love the
And
interview.
we was like, y'all got to come on our show,
Right.
and
We
talk
like-
to us.
And we're happy to be here. We're so happy to be here.
Yes, how are y'all feling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm
feeling
good.
Feeling
I'm a
blessed.
little nervous.
Come on, Bless. What you nervous for?
Which part?
I'm not nervous.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think we should just tap into. I think we both are like familiar with your story, but just tell the people, for the people that are not familiar with you, like what has inspired you guys to get into the world of fashion?
How did we come
Oh my
to know
goodness.
you?
Oh, that's so
In a
loaded.
nutshell.
Yeah. In a nutshell.
Just
Right.
sum it all up.
Listen,
Give us a-
You know we
Right.
can do nothing in a
Right,
nutshell.
right,
You
right.
know what
We
I
know
mean?
it's a novel, but
It's a book coming out soon. I
Yes,
guess we always really loved fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't really like coin it as a love for fashion. It was just
Okay.
more art in the very beginning.
Yeah, our father was an artist,
Okay.
a visual artist.
Nice.
He was in and out of the household. But
Okay.
when he was there,
That's all right. Whoa, I was
When
like,
he
this
was
guy had
there-
me real fast.
when he was there,
when he was there, he
gave a gift.
he
He
would
was there.
draw.
He was there.
He would draw.
And Bruce
so-
is more talented in the art realm, but we both love fashion. And so even as kids, we would draw girls in clothing. You know, we
Love
would
it.
style our sister, watch her get ready for the club.
Yeah.
Love
And all
that.
those
we would
things.
take like a sheet or like a towel, and I would like wrap it around like my little girl cousin and like make a
yeah.
dress. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And we
I
didn't
love
think
that.
like
That's the
I'm
fashion
going to
design
be a
in the making
fashion
right there.
designer. Right.
Using a sheet set.
Right. Using our early materials, sheet
Yeah.
sets. You know, maybe we should go out to the sheet set
Nate,
collection.
come on now.
Turn to a bed and then it turns to a garment. There's something there. There's something there. Get out of
Come on,
bed
and
and
a
wrap
hoodie.
it.
Make it a hoodie. Put a hood on
Just
it.
don't even think about getting dressed.
And you can literally say, I slept in this.
I woke up in this.
I woke up in this. I slept in
No,
this.
really, I slept in
I
this.
woke up like this for real.
But
like
I guess
sleep.
we decided that we were going to declare our love for fashion when
Yeah.
we went to in high school when we were going to college.
Okay.
Yeah, because up until that point, so something happened when we were kids with our mom. Like one day we were making paper dolls,
Yeah.
or we made paper dolls, and we hid them because we kind of had an idea.
Yeah, we knew that, mom wouldn't really like us making paper dolls,
Yeah.
And so it had interchangeable clothing. And one day my mother, she found them, a little doll with all these little clothes inside like a little pencil case. And she opened it and she said, "What is this?"
Uh-oh.
And I was like, "Oh, Mom, it's
That's Susie, and she's going to the club tonight.
that's why she has on a sequence dress made from packing tape and glitter."
Don't take her away,
And then she
It's
tore
like,
it up. And she
little
was like,
Susie ain't going nowhere. Dolls in my house. Little
she
Susie going in the trash.
Oh my goodness.
but I think she's a black mother. We're in
We
the
called the
hood.
police
She's
on our
in the
mother for
hood.
murdering Susie. Okay, we did that.
But I think then we were a little sad, but now we understand looking back her position.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a
Got it.
mother in the hood trying
Yeah.
to, keep us together, make
Yeah.
sure
The
we
best
were
that she could. There was no
Yeah.
social media. Teacher.
Our father, like Bruce
parents.
said earlier, was in and out of the household. So,
Yeah.
she was just doing the best she could.
Yeah.
And so that was the moment where we realized that we liked fashion, but
Yeah.
also that it was not an area that we were walking into as young black men in
Right.
an urban space.
Sure.
Mm.
Absolutely.
So when we were going to go to college, we were going to go to Morehouse for business.
Yes,
Right.
wow.
Okay.
Right, because we said
Atlanta.
we could just learn the business.
Yeah, we
and
gotta
we could
Shout
just-
out to the
Morehouse and-
HBCUs. Come on.
Come on.
Again.
we
Well,
got accepted.
okay,
We didn't go
but
though.
listen,
They didn't
We
make
didn't
it.
go.
It's
all right.
okay.
Y'all
But
got
it was
in,
the
though.
intent.
Y'all
It's
got
about
in.
the intention
got in.
sometimes. Don't
That's
play
all
with
right.
it.
We
got
looked
in.
and we had zero balance for our tuition, but it was all loans. And we said we can't do this.
Yeah. So we got we went to school at Albright College, and
Okay.
they paid for like the first 2 years.
Oh, beautiful.
and they were looking to diversify, the campus, and it was only like 3%
Affirmative action.
Yeah.
There that goes in. There's that topic.
And the other, not just black, it was like other Asian.
So there was like a handful of black people on the campus, So we were very little.
and I
small
decided
community.
to study fashion design, and he studied fashion merchandising.
Yeah, I guess at that point we
Okay.
realized it's our life, and we
Yeah.
got to do
Wow.
what makes us happy, and so
it's my life.
Sing.
So y'all had different majors.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. We decided that we were going to kind of be the yin and the yang. You know,
Oh,
he was
okay.
going to take care of the creative portion, and I was going to handle the business side of things.
That's a dynamic duo. I love
The
that.
dynamic duo. That's inside of our literature. That
Is
we
it
write.
really?
Yes. The
I love
ultimate
that.
dynamic
Look at
duo.
me. The ultimate.
So what inspired like your style of, like your business? Because the
Yeah.
brand is your own,
Right.
like to
Yeah.
be in fashion, but you had to make it like your own signature thing.
Right.
So where did that come from that you all said like these are the type of clothes and this is what we're gonna make? Very
Right.
colorful,
Yeah.
vibrant stuff, fun,
Yeah.
amazing, energetic.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is a lot like y'all personality though.
Definitely. I was going to say, was it inspired
Well,
by you
I
guys?
think that's the key.
That's the key, yeah.
Because we decided to do what just flowed out of us naturally.
Sure.
At some point, because in the very beginning, like fresh out of school, we had a collection, and we had angel investment, and like we poured all of that money into this collection that looked a lot like what was out there.
Yeah.
And so we
Okay.
kind of designed something that we thought the market would respond to,
Okay.
not even knowing. I wouldn't even say forsaking who we were. We just didn't know who we were as designers.
Yeah.
We hadn't fully embraced, our us.
And we weren't looking to discover it. We were looking to do what we thought was going to work, which was what everybody else was doing.
Get it in a department store.
Right, to get in
Yeah.
the department store
Yeah.
and boutiques and stuff. And we would go to the boutiques, look at the boutiques that we wanted to be into, like the really good high-end boutiques, and then we would design things like what we saw there.
And it wasn't really until like a couple years ago, like maybe about 3, 4, maybe 5 max years ago, that we really began to step into who we were.
Wow.
And
Wow.
begin to design things that we
So it
really
took a long
resonated
time.
with.
It took a long time, and I remember like when I would sit down and I would draw and like just kind of doodle and design. I would design a certain kind of look, a certain kind of thing. It would always be colorful. It would always be very fun.
Yeah.
But then when I say, okay, we got to get serious now, and then I would push that aside,
All right.
and then I would design what I
Love it.
think should the market wants it.
Yeah.
And then now what we do now is just like do what flows out of us naturally.
Yeah.
and there's lots of color, lots of pattern, lots of print.
Yeah.
And then look at this. People responded to it.
Yeah.
My
That's
God.
when people started
That's a
responding.
word.
Want to do it?
When you finally are yourself.
When you finally are yourself.
Yeah.
Say it again.
That's when
It's
it
something.
would do the thing.
One day I was walking across the street.
What happened? No, go ahead. I'm ad-libbing.
That was so great.
You've been my twin for a lot of years. I know what that means. I know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Twins in the building. You know what I'm saying? Twins. So I was walking across the street and it was like a download from the Lord. Just
Yeah.
like boom, 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 boom.
And what did he
boom.
say?
Tell us what the
He
Lord
said,
What was one of the booms?
he said, Bruce, I created you so special, right? And
Just you?
Well, he was just talking to him.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
It was very
Thank you.
specific in the moment,
I'm getting to the
Glenn.
next
Right,
part.
he was
I'm
just
getting to the
talking
next
to
part.
I'm gonna let you tell it. I've heard this before. I'm just
Glenn, like, so he ain't say nothing about me.
But he said, I created everybody special, and everyone has a unique blend. And this is how he described to me of spices. You know,
Okay.
like a flavor profile that it's all your own.
Yeah.
And when we do not expose that or discover that within ourselves and then expose it to the world, we do ourselves and the world a disservice because they don't get a chance to experience your unique blend. And we
That's
try
so
to
good.
cover it up with, other, I just want salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Just salt and pepper. But
Yeah.
you got some cardamom in there.
Yeah.
Oh my
Come on
gosh. You got some red curry spices, you know what I mean?
on,
With
red
a little
curry.
parsley. A little
Yeah.
parsley with a squeeze of lime. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
You
that's
know what I'm
yours.
saying?
You know what I mean?
That's you. Saucy. Flavorful.
Sauce.
dripping with sauce.
Yes. I want to know this. I mean, everybody, most people, a lot of us
Yeah.
would love to be a twin. I mean, I know people hear it all the
Right.
time.
Sometimes
Who would not
I
want
do.
a clone of themselves? I know I
Truly.
would.
Some people don't
can you
need to.
imagine
Some
two
people
of
don't
me?
need
First
two of
all,
them. Some people don't need two of them.
First of all, can we just get into two of me?
Oh my God.
I mean,
I really
come on.
feel like it would be opposite though. Like one Naeem might not be as you think.
Look at them.
What?
They are a lot of the same.
Y'all are.
It could have been two of me.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Would y'all say there are, or like, what are some differences or things
Yeah.
that you guys kind of find that you are not alike
Yeah.
in
Right.
as twins?
We are alike in every way.
No,
That's hilarious.
you know what we do? We love like mostly all the same things.
Okay.
We'll agree on mostly all the same
I mean, you
things.
have to think about, and I think about this often because people always try to twin shame us. Okay,
What that mean?
That's a
I
real thing.
What's
twin
twin
shaming.
shaming?
Twin shaming is a real thing.
Okay.
And
What
I
is
just said
This is
that for the first time today.
This is the first time
That's
I ever
the first
heard
time
you say that.
really.
And it's the
Release
first time
it.
I'm coming to terms
Give
with that.
yourself a
Come
minute to
on.
release that.
Come on
Right.
now.
People
You
try to
heard it
twin
here
shame
first.
you.
Because we're
this
so
is
close.
exclusive.
This is
We're
an
so
They've been
exclusive
twin
interview.
shamed, and we didn't
we've
even
been
know it was a
twin
thing.
shamed.
Okay, and you've never heard this term before,
Right.
Okay, a psychologist, if you use this term, give us credit. Okay,
All
Right.
Period.
So we love being twins.
Yeah.
We're very
We
close.
love spending time together. We
We
love
do
going
everything
everywhere together.
together.
We love living together.
We run a business together. We live together.
Yeah.
We decide what we're going to eat together. All these things,
Okay.
right?
Mhm. Look, I'll be getting up to go to the bathroom. He'd be like, "What you doing? You going to use the bathroom?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, I gotta go too."
Thank
You know
God
what
we
I mean?
have two. You
Thank
go
God
to
we
that
have
one,
two
I'll go to that
bathrooms because he go that way because we process the food at the same time because we ate the food.
All these movements.
We ate the same food at the same time, so we're processing it. You know what I mean? At the same time.
Okay.
So,
I love that.
so we're in sync in a lot of ways, and people be like, "That's a lot." What about?
But
when
you're
you
your own
turn,
person.
Are y'all
Yeah.
ever going to
You-
move out from each other? Are
Yeah,
y'all? You know,
yeah.
I would
Well,
just.
what's going to happen when you get married? I mean, you know,
Right,
it's just
right,
like all
right.
these questions. We don't know. We don't
Yeah.
know. We ain't thinking about it
I'm
yet.
living my
I'm
life.
sure when
Right.
the time
I
comes,
enjoy being a twin.
it'll be the right situation at the right time for
Right.
it all to happen. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, I just love
Don't
that
shame
you
us.
guys are
Boom.
in sync that way.
And y'all heard it here first.
Okay,
Twin shame
here
them again
first.
if you
Twin
want
shaming.
to.
It's the real thing. Like,
let them
tap
be.
in.
Let them be. Give them a minute.
We do to answer your question
Please.
because I don't think we did that. I'm
Absolutely
sorry about
not. Did not.
that. We're two different people in
In
a
what
lot
way?
of ways. Like Glenn is
How?
like just what he studied in school, like business,
Okay.
merchandising. Like he's very much that kind of person.
Okay.
And I'm a little bit more creative
Logistics.
and whimsical. You know what I mean? Like I'll be the one fixing dinner. He'll be the one answering emails. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like that kind of thing.
Well, that's a great balance.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Like you need that
We
duality.
were the same person at one point, you know, and I think when we
Y'all
split in half,
were.
he got part and I got part, and we make a whole.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Well, now tell me this because y'all consider yourselves the fashion preachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And y'all have a very unique style of preaching, which I've been to their church. It is amazing. I love it. I love y'all style.
I
They
need
are
to
very
come
inclusive.
visit.
You know what I'm saying? You got to come and visit.
I'm gonna do that.
They do hikes and stuff too, which is a
Come
lot
on,
of
hikes.
fun.
We're gonna be at the beach tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh,
Tomorrow?
lovely. Which
No,
beach?
the day after tomorrow.
Oh,
Wait,
sorry.
y'all
Not
don't even know what
Saturday
day
yet.
it is.
It's all right.
How they
I'm out
know
of
what
the
day
house.
it
It's
is?
been a
So
long
it feels
week.
like
It's a lot
Saturday.
going
First of all, this a metaverse. How they even know what day it is in here?
Right. It could be tomorrow whenever you watch it.
Right, exactly. Who got the calling first?
Ooh.
The call, okay.
I think we got it at the same time.
How you know that?
Because
I
we
was about to
we
say,
the
got
Lord was
it.
speaking
You know
to him
what?
and you
We got
didn't
it
even
before we were
know.
formed in our mother's womb.
Come on now.
Okay,
Yeah,
things are fashion
That's true,
before
but
us.
you know what he's saying. So the thing that happened was
What happened?
like we both grew up in church.
Okay.
Our mother dragged us there. Revivals, I mean, in there all the time, you know.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't really interested. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I
Like,
would
Mom, I
find-
got homework to do.
You
Can
were
I
not
stay home
engaged.
today?
I would find every
You're gonna do that
excuse,
homework
you
at
know?
church.
I would
in
like I
between
would go
services.
sit with my sister in her college class so we could get out of the revival that we.
I am
And I was like,
cracking
Gina,
up.
call mom and tell her that we
Not
cannot.
We want to spend a day with you, sister.
Like it's the
okay?
most boring thing to sit in somebody's college class. You know what I mean? And there was no phone to be
Yeah,
on
you
at
look
that
on.
time.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So we grew up in church, and when we moved to New York City, we had a sense that we should be a part of a church community because that's what we grew up in. And
Okay.
Because we were raised in the Lord, you know, and
Yeah.
it was what we knew. We had an innate sense that we
Rooted.
needed to be a part of.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
community.
Train up a child,
It
right?
is
Like y'all
Train
said, y'all
'em.
said earlier.
Train
She
'em.
trained
Come
them.
on.
Hey,
Trained
come
them.
on now.
But when we got to New York, we couldn't find a church that we vibed with, right?
Yeah.
And now today you have choices, you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
And you got amazing bands at the
Yeah.
church. You know, you go in.
You just go on Instagram and you type in churches in LA, churches
Yeah,
in New
and
York.
they have
There's
like
definitely a lot
wellness
of
teams
churches.
that be like, "Hey, brother, can we come to your house?"
You got a photo shoot when you arrive to service, you know.
Hey,
Hold
you
this
know the Lord
sign,
Jesus
and you're
loves
like,
him, you know?
You're
Not
welcome
coming
here.
to the house, though.
Welcome
Not
here,
pulling
all are
up.
welcome. Come as you
Welcome.
are. You know, that's
Yes.
like today's church.
It
Back
is.
then, that was 17 years ago, so it
Right.
wasn't exactly
Okay.
like that.
Not happening.
But we were. I remember we hadn't found a church. My mother called us. God rest her soul, and she called.
Stop it.
Amen.
And so she called us. Stop it, Glenn. And she called us and she said, "You guys should find a church. And are you going to church tomorrow?" And then Glenn was like, "We don't know what church to go to. We tried a few." And he said to her,
If we're going to go to church, then the church has to come to us.
because that same day, a girl walked up to us on the street.
Wow.
And invited us to church.
What?
And that was, and we were like, oh, okay.
And that really was the beginning of everything. We started going consistently,
Yeah.
and we got more and more involved.
And there were like a lot of young people who were very on fire for Jesus. I mean,
Yeah.
and they
That's
were
beautiful.
like passionate.
They were walking up to people on the street like, your mother's in the hospital, but she's going to come out today. And the person would be like, ah! And you're like, what's going on here?
Wow. Come on,
What's going on?
prophecy.
You know,
So we did get at the same
Take
time. It was the same time. It was the same time.
yes.
That is beautiful. Wow.
So this is what I want to know. Now, you're fashion designers and you're preachers.
Yes.
Clothing can be risque. This entertainment industry
Right.
is, I mean, it's got
Yeah.
a lot of demons in it. So how do you all balance the two?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We just design what we want to see women
sometimes
in.
I think it's probably a little bit more riskier than people would.
I mean, like for
ascribe.
example, our most recent collection, we had these dresses that had anatomy references. You know, so they had boob
Okay.
references.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had ab references.
Yeah.
And they even had a little
Right.
reference.
Right.
Okay.
What is going on? Do y'all do this all this?
It happens a lot. Yeah.
I love
And,
it.
and we debated for a little while
Yeah.
whether or not we were going to put it out and whether or not that was going to be a part of the collection. But we had a certain idea in mind when we were designing it, and it was that we were going back to the garden. You know, it was a reference to Eve. You know, that we were stripping of all the things that we think make us us, right?
Yep.
And then just being completely
And we don't
naked
plan
before
these
the Lord.
things like, you know, I'm really not trying to like reach, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you reaching, you know, you hear some inspiration, you're like, you're reaching. That's reaching, you know what I mean? But like, it just happens sort of organically. We just do what feels good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what feels good usually is, I really believe it's the ideas that God had planted in us, you know,
Right.
just
And a
rise
lot
up
of
out us.
times, the explanation for the collections that we design come after the design. Okay, and that's how we know it's
Really?
led of the Spirit, because
Wow.
we don't
Wow.
even realize what we're designing, what is happening until
Yeah.
afterwards, and we're looking at this and we're like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
So like people here with
Thank
fashion
you.
preachers and they're like, "Are you a Christian clothing line?" Like, what is that? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
Christian,
Right.
and what I produce is laced in that. You know, it's
Right,
laced in the
right, right.
anointing.
And who
It's
you already
anointed.
are,
It's
yeah.
And the Lord.
You know, I don't
It's
need to
covered
put
in
a
scripture
scripture.
because
I don't have to
of
put a
who I
scripture,
am.
you know,
Yeah.
to say
Yeah,
that. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
But,
And
That's
that means
right.
I could be a Christian model, right?
Yeah.
Come
so
on now.
I
Yeah.
could just, I don't have to get on the stage and say, everybody, repent, Jesus is coming, right?
Yeah.
and you can if that's your
Yes,
that's your
yes.
bag.
Yeah,
but
if
I can
it
have an
is, but you
understanding
can-
of who I
yeah,
am,
absolutely.
the anointing that's flowing from me,
And
and people
walk in
can get
that,
saved by
yeah.
looking at a picture of me in Dolce & Gabbana.
And we have to.
that's
I think that as
Come on now.
as
I love
it.
Christians,
Testimony is a testimony.
in the industry, we have to believe like that.
Yes.
We have to believe to that extent
That
that my
the
very
cloth
presence.
from our clothing can heal someone, or someone looking at me on a
Yeah.
runway, someone
Come
looking
on,
at me
touch
in
the
a
hem
picture,
of my garment.
Come
someone
on.
watching me on television,
Come
someone
on now.
watching
Play with
this
me.
podcast, you know,
Yes.
simply because of who I am,
Right.
they're going to receive what they need to receive.
Precisely. I love that. So even just before you got, like, I know that, you know, you guys are who you are and you walk in everything. Are there things that you do just to prepare for that? Like, how do you guys give yourself a minute before you design anything, before you do anything? Like, what are some of the things that you do to take care of you?
We take
Because
out
you
minutes
put out
often.
so much.
Yeah, we take a lot of minutes.
As you should.
Jacuzzi is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like the
Jacuzzi.
biggest thing. We
I
love a
love
jacuzzi.
that. I love a good
Rooftop.
jacuzzi now.
The
They
deck.
like wine. I noticed about them. I did my research. Y'all
Ooh,
like
what's
wine.
your
Hold on, wait a minute. Don't you say that
favorite
on this-
wine?
They
out here in
like
public.
it.
No, it's fine. we like
Jesus
a
drink
little wine.
Wait,
like
can
a
y'all
little wine
imagine
to
though
relax.
having your own wine? That would be dope.
That
Oh,
would be
I like that.
amazing.
That would be.
It's,
Yeah.
it's Christian wine.
It's Christian wine.
Jesus drinks wine,
drink
right?
wine.
Jesus drank
We call it the
wine.
blood.
Red wine.
We call it the blood.
We often meditate. You know,
Okay.
in the morning.
We started a practice at our church called Be Still.
Ooh,
Which
love
is
that.
simply based off the scripture, Psalm
Yes.
46:10, be still and know that he is the Lord.
Absolutely.
And so there's a sense of knowingness that comes with stillness
Yeah.
that a lot of times people aren't taking the time to be still, so they don't know.
Right.
I don't know how big God is. I don't know what my destiny is. I don't know. So there's a lot of things we don't know because we haven't taken the time to be still. So just kind of promoting that with our church, and then also practicing it every day
Sure.
for ourselves, because you move different when you know. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Before we go, I literally have two questions. One, the quickest one is that you all have a very colorful palette that you work from.
Love that.
But you can only use one color to design for the rest of your life. Or what color is it going to be?
For the rest of their
How about that?
A color each.
Okay, the rest of our lives.
I think I know what we're going to say.
Can you do a twin thing?
Yeah, I think we're going to say the same thing one time.
1, 2, 3.
Fuchsia pink.
Oh, okay.
It's the color of our hair.
Is that
I already knew.
Why that color?
It's one of our favorite colors
It's
to work
just,
with.
I don't know. It's just such a beautiful color. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
vibrant.
It is.
It looks good on us.
It looks good on my skin tone.
Yeah.
I
Our
try
hair color has been every color
blues
in the
don't
book, but
Yeah.
fuchsia is the one that works for us.
I love it.
Yeah.
And
The
it
best,
goes with,
we
it
think.
complements a lot of other
Thank you.
colors.
The last thing I want to know is I want you all said like the paper doll story, which is a beautiful story, tragic but beautiful.
Yeah.
What would you say and what advice do you have to the little kid out there that has the paper doll that may or may not be getting torn up?
That's
you know?
beautiful. I love that. Great question.
I don't know. I feel like we're in such a different age now, because there's just so much more exposure and like
acceptance.
acceptance
Yeah.
Of different trajectories and pathways that people could go in life.
we talk about this all the time because like I think about my mother and like she never got to experience like a quarter of the things that we get to experience.
Like I don't know if she ever watched a sunset in her life. I was sitting on a beach watching a sunset, and I was like, I don't think my mother ever like sat and watched a sunset.
Yeah.
So like
because her
world-
generation was like busy going
Go,
all the
go,
time,
go,
trying to
yeah.
figure out how to put food on the table and things
Absolutely.
like
she had a
this.
junior high school education.
Survival
You know what I
mode.
mean? She was always in survival mode. So
Yeah.
she never had any time to like really sit and enjoy.
But I think the generation now that's raising kids, they're a little more expansive, as far as their thinking, and as far as what their kids can be and who their kids are. So I would just say continue dreaming, and hopefully you're in a household where you have parents or caregivers that support your dream.
Definitely. I love that.
But
well put.
the dream will find a way.
Hey,
Come on now.
Come on now.
Somebody.
Yes.
The dream will find a way because the
Yeah.
dream is important to us, but I think the dream is even more important to God, and we discount that part of it because the dream God wants to use to ride into other people's lives, to
Yeah.
ride into their homes, and whether it be through clothing or TV. Like your dream is important to get God's message and an example of who He is.
even if it's just inspiring someone to continue to dream.
And I think that is great because, like, that's the thing that we said. Remember, we just talked about this the other day about how we were individually living our lives and collectively we ended up coming together creatively by just doing our own thing and following our own journey. And, like, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
I
just
think that's
talking.
beautiful.
Yeah. I was just talking to a friend of mine and we were just saying, or I was just like, oh man, like, when like certain moments just feel good. And she's like, you have to recognize everything that it took to get to that moment. So don't think that, it's supposed to be chaotic when it's good. Just let it be good.
Yeah,
When the
yeah,
dream
yeah.
is the
Oh my
dream.
God,
And then
so
when it's
good.
pure, like, just let it be that. So, I mean, I think we should just pass the collection plate because we just preach the word.
Miah, listen,
Yes.
our first guest,
Oh,
twins.
Man. I'm so honored to be in the present.
The house of
We're
Bruce
honored to
Glen.
be here.
Okay, the house. I mean, King Out Stylist, that was our last request. That's the last
Yeah, we need an
question.
outfit. We're gonna
No,
want
let's
an
go
we
outfit.
cannot style you.
We're gonna get an outfit when we get nominated for an
Hey.
Emmy for our show.
We will,
We would love to wear Bruce Glen
we would love to.
for our
Look, I
pilot
said let's
episode.
go shopping. I'm not even
We will
thinking like
afford
putting
you
you in
by
Bruce
then.
Glen. Yes, let's put you in some Bruce Glen. Let's put you in some Bruce Glen. Yes.
Yes, but thank you guys so much for
Thank
joining
y'all
us.
so
We
much.
appreciate your time and your light and your smiles
Thank you for having us.
and
Thank you.
all the beautifulness that y'all bring into a room.
We appreciate being here. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for giving us a minute.
Yes. Oh, friend, I really enjoyed that interview. They were amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so inspirational. And I love
Yes.
that they're just operating in all of their gifts.
Yeah. Faith and favor.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, so we want to thank everybody for talking to us today.
Yes, this
Before
is-
we go, we want to just say, like, for ourselves, give yourself a minute to
Dream. I'm gonna still. Well, I was very inspired by BruceGlen. Like they really just. Honestly, I think like sometimes we really do forget to, and so even in this moment, I'm like not forgetting my own dreams, and so we
Yes.
are making our dreams come true in this
Yeah.
moment. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that. What's yours, friend?
I think it's give me a minute to breathe. I think
on,
that
breathe.
there's a lot in breath.
Oh my gosh.
And sometimes you really just need to just take a beat and just breathe, whatever that means for you. So I would say give me a minute to breathe.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much for this
For
journey with
joining
us. Friend, the first of many to come, Emmy nominated.
Come
Shout
on.
us out. Don't play with us.
Come on now. We on our way. We're going. We'll be back. Thank y'all for joining us. We love you.
Thank you.